All right, my guest tonight in Los Angeles, editor-in-chief of IGN.com's Gear Channel and Loop regular, Jerry Block, is back for more. Love the shirt, Jer. Also joining us from LA, comedian Doug Benson, whose documentary Super High Me will play the South by Southwest Festival in March. And in New York, CNET.com staff writer Caroline McCarthy joins us as well. All right, let's review this week. It's actually been a week since Microsoft submitted an unsolicited bid of $44.6 billion to buy Yahoo outright. And meanwhile, Google has been working behind the scenes to help Yahoo come up with some sort of strategic alternative, which is cute. Caroline, what do you think? Is this deal pretty much a sure thing at this point?
I think it's pretty much a sure thing. I think Microsoft is gonna get its way. Steve Ballmer obviously is fighting tooth and nail. Yahoo's trying to drag it out. They apparently had some kind of meeting today. They're gonna have another meeting on Wednesday. And then there's this search advertising deal that Google is apparently working on with them, which could also lead to antitrust investigations on the part of the government. So, either way, I think it's going to be a tough way out for Yahoo,
Right.
and Microsoft really wants it.
But in everyone's heart of hearts, they got to know Microsoft has enough money to make anything happen. They could buy anyone, including the government. So if they want it bad enough, it's theirs.
They could buy a lot of small countries, I think. So.
All right. Now, Jerry, what changes might this actually mean for both sides? Because people have speculated, but today I heard that there might be news that this could be the end of MSN. Do you think that's likely?
I think it's a good possibility. Yahoo has always been the more marketed and probably stronger brand overall. So I don't know if really losing MSN would really hurt Microsoft in any way. So it could probably happen. For years, Microsoft has sort of been alluding to the fact that their next greatest competitor was going to be Google. So, new services and things like that, there's obviously going to be AdSense-style revenue and probably sort of bundled web applications a la Google in recent years.
All right, there's valid points there. All right, let's talk about New Line Cinema here in Platinum Dunes. They're resurrecting another Nightmare on Elm Street movie, but this time around, none of the early discussions include plans for Robert Englund to reprise the role that made him famous. It causes Olivia to boo incessantly. Yes, as if on cue. Doug, what do you think? I mean, can you have a Nightmare on Elm Street without Robert?
I can't have a regular Nightmare without Robert Englund. He is the man.
Makeup or not?
I can't believe they do it without him. That's crazy. But you know what? The character does have a lot of makeup on. It's not like they couldn't do Wishmaster without Robert Englund. If you remember that one.
Yeah,
I don't.
I'm gonna IMDb that later, and I'm sure I'll chuckle at midnight. But Jerry, who do you think the best new candidate would be for Freddy Krueger?
Crispin Glover for sure. I think he could do it perfectly.
Doug, what do you think about that? Crispin Glover?
I do like that. And he can attack all mentally handicapped people. Do you think Glover's movies.
Do you think the internet fanboys are going to be okay with this, Caroline, if they don't have him in the film? Or
I honestly think that it's going to be like making a Star Wars movie with somebody else besides James Earl Jones voicing Darth Vader. But the thing is that as we saw with Ang Lee's version of the Hulk, this sort of conglomerated fan community is willing to not accept something as canon if they collectively don't like it.
That is true. I thought you were going to say it's like a Star Wars movie without Jar Jar for a moment there, and I thought, maybe we can leave Robert off the discussion table there. All right, now large parts of the world, including the Middle East, India, West Asia, they're all sort of been plunged in this virtual internet blackout earlier this week when several undersea cables were mysteriously damaged. Now, Jerry, there's been no evidence of sabotage, but conspiracy theorists are suggesting everything from terrorism to a covert op by the U.S. government. What do you think?
Well, never before have any two cables failed at the same time. So the fact that there are reportedly 5 out in different locations of the world is pretty suspicious. There is also news that the Egyptians say that they have video footage of the area where the first 2 cables were cut. They say there were no ships there within a 12-hour window. They say it was not a ship dragging anchor, which is the mainstream excuse for the problem.
All right, Caroline, do you believe in this loose change dissection that the cables fell on their own footprint and there's no way they could have been cut?
Two of the cables were 400 meters away from each other, and apparently the reports of the 5th cable being cut aren't even fully substantiated. The conspiracy theories with the internet, they spread like wildfire, and apparently, according to some of them, 9/11 was caused by the government. Katie Holmes didn't run the New York Marathon. They're all over the place,
right.
And people can pick up evidence anywhere. I don't think this was a conspiracy.
All right, Doug, I never thought I'd say this, but be our voice of reason here. Do you suspect foul play?
I still can't get over the fact that people think Katie Holmes didn't run the marathon.
Well, if you look at matter. She wasn't dressed to run a marathon.
But the cables, Doug, come on. Do you think this is a move by the U.S. government because we're about to attack any moment now?
I think it's none of my business, to be honest with you. I really don't. I don't know why you would turn to me and ask me what I think about it.
How's the iPhone treating you?
I do love my iPhone.
Okay, good. As long as there is safe territory.
I do know
to tread.
about that. Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of cell phones, there's actually been a lot of news on the cell phone front this week. Analysts have reported that Apple is aggressively cutting back production on iPods and iPhones at the same time that the iPhone has become the second best-selling smartphone. Caroline, do you think? I don't know. Are things still looking rosy for Apple, or is this a sign that maybe they're looking to do a new phone? Or
You've got to keep in mind that, first of all, any hot product hits a plateau, and Apple is no exception. I don't think that they're immune to that phenomenon. However, there are rumors going around that Apple's going to announce something on February 26th. You know, they just are keeping it going. The rumor is that, well, actually, I think it's more than a rumor that there's a 3G iPhone on the way. I don't know if they would release it quite so soon after the 16 gig iPhone, but I think absolutely Apple is just keeping the process going, rolling them out, and they'll do anything to stay on top.
Doug, Apple just released the 16 gig iPhone. You know, they now have the 32 gig iPod Touch. They're saying any minute now, 32 gig iPhone, maybe a 3G iPhone. Are you waiting? Like, are you chomping at the bit to upgrade to a new iPhone? Or are you still trying to
buy everything they sell because I am stupid. And you know what? I think that Apple is going to announce on February 26th that this is a leap year, and they're going to say, enjoy February 29th, everybody. They've got their hands in everything, even space and time.
Well, yeah, Steve can mend it. You know, as long as he's wearing a turtleneck, he can do anything.
It's true.
And Jerry, finally, real quick, should we get our hopes up that we're going to see a Google phone or something running Android very soon?
We'll probably see something. The real issue will be whether or not Google wins the 700 megahertz spectrum auction, which is currently going underway. If they do, it's super exciting. If Verizon wins, not so exciting.
All right, I want to thank my guests for joining us and keeping us in the loop. And a quick reminder, everybody, do not miss Doug Benson performing stand-up at Governor's Comedy Club in Long Island on February 15th through the 17th.
Attack of the Show, weeknights at 7, only on G4.